All right, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. Maybe a little much on the reverb. We'll get it right. So thanks for being here, everybody. This is the AI and Music Meetup. As you guys all know, AI is just completely revolutionizing not only music and not only all other sort of creative endeavors, but just business in general, and kind of everything. So, this organization is called Helping Our Music Evolve. And so as I started to kind of understand what was happening with AI, I really felt the need to start bringing people together to have this conversation. And I was looking around in Nashville and I was like, surely somebody's gonna do this. And nobody was doing it, so we decided to do it. So this is, I think, the sixth one that we've done, and it's happening now on the third Thursday of each month. And we invite you to keep coming back because we have some incredible speakers, and they're changing each time. And we're not just talking about how you can grow your business through AI. We're not just talking about how you can make music, make art. I mean, it's really across the board. Everything that even relates to you doing music or as a business, as a music business, and how AI is going to impact it. So we have some really incredible speakers here with you or with us tonight, and we've got one tonight that's not here with us, but is actually in Brazil. So this is Fernando Gabriel, and he is the co-founder and global CEO for Stream. Give us just a second here. There we go. Okay. Stream is our presenting partner. They are a distribution platform, but they also have an amazing suite of tools built into their distribution platform, and he's about to explain that to you. Whenever I first got introduced to them and started to understand like what they're doing with their platform, I was just super impressed. I think they're looking at it in a very holistic way. How can they not only provide a good distribution platform, but also build in some amazing tools that are going to help artists grow, help them find their audience, help them find collaborators, and he's going to break all that down for you. But just know they are the presenting sponsor, so they're really making this thing possible, guys. So give it up for Fernando and Stream, and I'll turn it over to him.
Okay, thank you very much, Logan. Hello, everyone. I'm not seeing everyone through the screen, but as Logan said, I am Fernando Gabriel, one of the founders of Stream, and also the global CEO. It's a real pleasure for me to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, and also congratulations to everyone that is here looking for knowledge, for information. This is actually like a key thing for everyone to thrive and to get to the next level. So a little bit on my track record. I study engineering, but I follow my call in the music. I'm also a singer, songwriter. I used to be a professional artist from 2006 to 2009. As like 99% of all independent artists, I have suffered a lot with the lack of information, lack of resources. And after my period as independent artist, I started managing some like other independent artists, helping them not to commit the same mistakes I did, which is already like 50% of maybe the success, like avoiding the errors that you have learned from the past. And then I have the privilege to be partnered with some of the biggest names here in the music industry in Brazil, many different genres. So I had the privilege to see all the strategy the music consumption behavior from many different parts of the country, and also the focus of the most successful artists, what they were doing. And I was always trying to figure out why some very talented artists didn't have that level of success. Some other ones that they are not so talented. Quality is something very like particular, but I know everyone got a little bit of that feeling, but they're there with a huge success and just with a huge crowd and packing every single venue that they're performing. But what I have learned throughout like almost 20 years in the music industry is that there is so many patterns behind successful careers. And this became my mission, to get all those patterns, those methodologies, and everything that worked, and turn into a methodology that could be replicated. And I'm gonna start sharing my screen here now. And I think it's gonna be much more clear for everyone. So for us as a company to innovate, we must go through 3 steps. I think every single company in the world. The first step is understanding the patterns. The second one would be using the patterns on your favor. And the third one, you should be creating the new patterns. So the first step was by observation, understanding that there was like some different levels, different stages of career, that was different challenges, different kind of barriers. It wasn't so clear at that time, but when we started just digging in and trying to replicate into a methodology, we came with this framework that helped us convert millions of dollars for independent artists. And also, I think the main pain point that we have solved with this framework was the lack of alignment into which stage an artist currently is, because the artist has his own like standpoint. The manager, his like team, the investor, the label has like a different standpoint, and it was very, very, very hard to find any alignment, any common ground on this matter, and this helped a lot. So every single artist starts as enthusiastic, playing for hobby, for family and friends. This is the first stage of career. Here they're not professional, they're just like playing around for fun, and there is a psychological decision here. That is, this is my profession or my hobby. Whenever they decide to at least to try it, they go to the second stage of career, that is the aspiring. Here they start songwriting, but they never release something original yet. They start doing some gigs, some like songwriting, but whenever they release their first song originally, officially on the DSPs, they go to the third stage of career that we'll call experiment. An experiment because they have to experiment their different artistic formats. It's very hard for an artist to find out in the first test, in the first release, what they do good and what people like when they're doing. So they have to work the artistry. Testing what sounds better when they are performing, when they are singing. And this we call that they are under a very big challenge called positioning or concept fit. So here, money can't buy you concept, can't buy you originality, differential. There are some things that artists has to do by their own. They have to test, to experiment, and to learn and improve as an artist. That's why they are called developing artists. Whenever they start to find out, they go to the fourth stage of career that we call emerging, the fourth stage. Then that triangle over there represents the first natural barrier. We are monitoring over 12 million artists globally. It's almost 95% of all the artists in the planet that has officially released something on the DSPs. And we know that 90% of the artists is never able to overcome this natural barrier. And it's natural because the one that can decide whoever surpass this natural barrier is the audience. So there is a specific metric that we are measuring here. That is the capability of the artist to turn listeners into followers. So it's important for you to measure that metric because it doesn't matter if you're like releasing constantly with discipline and constancy. If no one is like interested in what you're doing, no one is interested in follow you, and also no one is like expecting or looking for your next release and to like consume your content. So the ones that start to like break out from their family and friends, they go to the fifth stage of career that we call promising. They are part of a very small group of less than 10% of the artists globally that are upon a different challenge right now. They're upon a market fit, like a traction challenge. Now they have to generate revenue from merchandising, live concerts, their recording rights or publishing if they are a songwriter as well. To go to the sixth stage of career that we'll call sustainable. The sixth stage is not fully sustainable, but it starts generating revenue to reinvest on their careers. And then the seventh stage of career, what we call low stream success, the first level of success, the second natural barrier that we call cultural barrier. Now the artists to go to the next level of audience, they're gonna have to reach out different regions, different audiences that has different music consumption behavior. To go to the eighth stage of career, what we call mainstream success, upon the expansion challenge. And then the 90th stage of career, mainstream success. It's more like a national success. And the last natural barrier that we call language barrier. Now the artists, if you're not singing in English or in Spanish, this is a huge barrier to overcome. And nowadays, there is something happening that like industry call the globalization. So everyone is listening to their like own playlist, to their own genre of preference. So they're only listening on what they really want and really appreciate. That's why the global charts are 95% populated by local songs in like most of the countries that used to be populated by like global hits, like US global hits, or from UK as well. But now the local audience is just choosing and preferring to listen to music, local music on their own language. And then the 10th stage of career, the epic success, is the like Bruno Mars, Beyonce's, and artists that has a global audience. And then we have like two more layers. The first one on the top is the mindset. It's pretty much like a startup. Like you have an idea, you incubate that idea, then whenever you got some traction, you accelerate and then you expand. And then the cycles of investment. Every artist start like bootstrapping, just trusting on their own, and then family and friends, because there is no money until like the sixth stage of career. So they are what they're seeing is someone that has talent and also is committed to their careers. That's why they are willing to help and to invest. Then the angel investments that are pretty much like the first, small manager, small label, someone that will help you out, a music producer. Then the seed investments, big labels, uh, investors specialized in the music industry, and the series like the major labels and also some funds that are joining the game. So this is the pattern. This is pretty much what's happening and what you have to face, the challenge that you have to overcome. And it's this very, very, very important for you to understand because I think many of us, as a manager or artists or whatever role we are playing in the music industry, we don't have that clarity on exactly how to explain uh, all the journey and what's happening, what's going on. So this is a very, very, very easy way and friendly uh, to do that. Then, how can we use the patterns on our favor? So don't be afraid of this equation. It's just a conceptual algorithm that helped us interact with the credit and the credit industry to the money, so to speak. So there is only one concept that investors understand, that is risk and the potential of return. If you're not talking about risk and return, they're not getting what you're doing. They don't know about music. They don't know about like concept, originality, talent. This is something, as I said, very particular, very individual. But we have something that we truly believe in at Stream. Music is about connection. And every single algorithm that we have built at Stream is trying to measure the level of connection that an artist has with their audience, not talent, not concept. We think that this would be like impossible because talent and quality is very like singular and particular for everyone. So for us, the potential of an artist has nothing to do with their talent. Potential for us is their capability to convert and grow their fan base into music platforms. That's YDM. Plus their capability to convert followers and grow their fan base into social media to build their storytelling, and the behavior of the audience. So the bigger is and most active and engaged your fan base, bigger is your level of career, stage of career, bigger is your potential of return. So talent doesn't matter. Yes, it matters, but for us, it's on the risk side. And it's C square is a collaboration. Collaboration square, just because there is two kinds of risks here, the internal risk and the external risk. The internal risk is more related to the artist, the development, experience, talent of the artist, and also their team. And the external risk is more related to the genre that you are in and also the investment that your project has. That being said, it became much easier for us to communicate with the investment sector and also with the artists and all the music industry. How do we create a new pattern using that two main concepts? That's where it comes our platform. Let me share my whole screen here. Just one second. Okay. This is what we call a stream for artists. So it's pretty easy for you to access. Just go to artists.streammusic.com. Then we're gonna ask you to do a free assessment. It's real quick. Just put in your name, genre, country, phone number, city. Then it's really easy for you to look for Alex. creation. So just have to do it. The same thing on YouTube channel, Spotify profile, and also Instagram profile. Then choose the right profile and it's linked. Then clicking next, we cross and you compare with over 12 million artists in our database to look for the patterns and just to provide you a very accurate information about your current stage of career. This specific artist, it has it is in the 6th stage of career, sustainable, 6% of progress, $11,000 available for him to advance, and it's very, very like easy and friendly to ask for the advance. It's just like clicking the advance, requesting and selecting the releases that you want to advance, and also just moving forward. It's very, very, very simple. Okay. And then we have Quincy, that is our assistant that you can ask to show the next moves for you to level up. So we have the goals. So as we are monitoring 12 million artists, we know precisely the numbers of the average for every single genre, country, and stage of career. So we know that artists in Canada from pop, they have in average 22,000 followers on Spotify. Alex is now with 11,000. So for him, in order to go to level up, he has to achieve those numbers. We have Quincy crafting a very specific, actionable plan, monitoring everything that's happening week over week, your progress, what you have to do, the number of posts, if it is like Reels, TikTok, what you have to do, the length of the content, which part of the hook you should be replicating. It's everything here. And we have a whole set of features to help you with educational content, touring, connections with composers, producers that are hitting more songs on top 1,000 Spotify artists similar to you. There are so many things that you can leverage to level up, and it's just everything 100% free. You have some different profiles that you can use the way you want. And just real quick, this is the other interface that we call Stream for Labels. Now the almost 12 million artists is here, and you can just select if you want to go to country music in United States, only artists above stage 5 to 8, and filter. We're gonna filter among the 12 million artists, and gonna bring us the ones in United States country, stage 5 to 8, that are growing faster than anyone. AI Cover Station, Break and Russ, Alex Rowe, Falles, Solomon Ray. So it's everything here. So if you want to see, dive into any of the artists, it's just clicking here, and we can also predict how much money their catalog is going, has made in the past 12 months. It's gonna make in the next 12 months, the breakdown, independent from independent labels or major labels, breakdown by single. So this is a tool that we have been training not only our labels, but also the major labels. They're monitoring using our technology to make decisions, to better evaluate deals, and also choose the right artists to hire. So this is, I know we are very short on time. It was very, very quick. It's so many things, so much information, so many information that I wanted to share, but I wanted to at least give a quick overview of the concept that brought live to our platform. It has a methodology, it has a concept, and it has a very, very profound knowledge and, by observation from everything that we have learned throughout the last 20 years. And that's how we are using AI to make artists' lives better. Instead of waiting several months to have an advance, you can go through the platform whenever you want, whenever you need, without having to ask and humiliate yourself to ask for money for everyone, any label. You go there, you're right. It's your choice. You got the money. It's only 1 year contract. Freedom for us is very, very important. Just because we are a platform that was built for artists, by artists, and for artists. I think that's it. I think I'm a little over my time, but I just want to thank you again, Logan, and everyone for the opportunity. And I hope I had add some value to this great event.
Yeah, give it up. Give it up. Super cool, right? Yeah, so we got 2 minutes really till his time is up. So we got time for, does anybody have one question? Because we're going to do a Q&A at the end, but I don't think he's actually going to be available for that. So I think Foundation, you had a question. Mm-hmm. He's just asking how easy would it be to port your catalog, your existing catalog, over to Stream, if he's with a different distributor, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is very, very easy. Actually, we are, I think, the only company in the industry right now that is migrating catalog automatically. So we don't even ask for any asset. So we can migrate using our technology. We have access to all the cover art, audio, metadata. If you want to come to Stream to sign a deal, to have an advance, it's really, really straightforward. Our contract is really standard. And whenever you sign a deal and you ask for an advance, or if you don't want an advance, just want to be with us, we can help you migrate your catalog in a very, very streamlined way using our technology.
All right, amazing. And Carlos is also here too. Where you at, Carlos? Carlos is here. He might have gone to the restroom or something, but he's their local A&R for Stream, so he's around the home facility quite a bit. So, Foundation, you're a homie, so we'll just get you plugged in and talking with Carlos if you're interested, okay? All right. Cool. Well, yeah, that's Carlos right here. Yeah. Say hi to everybody, Carlos. So he's the local A&R for Stream. Thanks so much, Fernando. That was amazing, as always, and we appreciate you making yourself available from Brazil. Let's give it up one more time for them. Doing cool stuff for artists, but also just being willing to sponsor this event and make all this possible. So thanks again, Fernando. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. My pleasure. You can always count on us. Yeah. It's a real pleasure to sponsor and be part of this great event.
Thank you. Boa noite.
Boa noite. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
See you guys. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Up next, we've got we're going to lean more into the creative side. So we're kind of bouncing back and forth between business and creative stuff. We got Ultraviolet, who's going to come up here. It'll take 2 seconds for her to just switch over real quick. And she's going to give you, she's the only person that spoke at every one of these. So that's awesome. And she's always bringing the heat with really cool creative workflows to help with content creation, video, images, graphics, you name it. So I'm excited to check out what you got for us this month. Give us 1 second.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Is my screen working? No. There we go. Okay. Welcome, guys. If you have been coming to our AI meetups, it's good to see you again in a new year, 2026. If it's your first time, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kat, but I perform under Ultraviolet. And like Logan said, I present every month. And I like to consider myself kind of like our resident AI artist, just the person that's going to bring a new perspective on how you can use AI to expand your creative capabilities, whether you're an independent music artist just trying to keep up, with all of the demands of being an independent artist, or if you're just a techie and you want to learn new tools. So tonight I'm going to be doing a specific tool demo for a tool called Flora Fauna. But before I get into that, I just wanted to share some fun updates with those of you that have been coming and give a little background on who I am. So a few Ultraviolet updates. I've been really focused on content creation and putting new music out. So I actually haven't been using AI a ton since our December meetup. But I think that's part of being an artist that uses AI. I don't consider myself an AI artist. My artistry is not dependent upon AI. It is just merely a tool that I use to, like I said, expand my capabilities. So I actually have a new song dropping tomorrow. It is the lead single. Yay! It's the lead single. Yeah, it's the lead single off my EP called Bleeding Hearts that'll be dropping this year. I've been doing a lot of video content online. In March, I'm going to be focused on moving away from music visuals to doing some creative education, so showing my creative workflows, the AI tools that I use. So if you want to see that stuff, be sure to follow. If you were here in December, you'll see this mock-up here. So in December, I presented on doing 3D visuals, and I showed an example of where I was getting some 3D examples for my friend that's a 3D designer who's making a spaceship for me. So I'm actually going to be shooting a music video inside this 3D spaceship. I'm actually looking for a large green screen studio, so if anyone has plugs for that, please hit me up after. What else? Ultraviolet 2.0. We are now in conversations to develop, what was the acronym we came up with? It was like ACAPAWA or something. But essentially, I want to be at the forefront of integrating AI, like making a duplication of my brain and how I create. And I think that is like, we're starting to see people really go in with customized bots and agents. So I want to explore that on the artist side, and one of the partners I'm going to be exploring that with is here, Rhyme with Near Protocol. So we're actually doing a members-only tech event teaching people how to use technology to create a super fan experience, and how do you cut out the middleman and maximize on how you monetize and engage with your audience. So if you're interested in learning about that, we're doing that next Friday from 12 to 2 here at home. Once again, that is members only. So those are some fun updates. I've been busy the last 2 months. And then the last thing is I've become a creative partner for Flora. So I'm gonna show this tool. They actually just raised $42 million. So they just got a big influx of funding, which is really exciting. But the whole concept of Flora is it is a creative AI tool built by creatives for creatives. When you're creating, especially with digital art and digital platforms, workflow is so important, user interface is so important, and they felt existing AI tools were not really built for a creative mind and a visual mind. So that is the whole concept of why they built this tool. They also wanted to build a one-stop shop. So that is one of the best functions of Flora. One subscription, multiple models. They have VO built in there. That's one of the most expensive generative subscriptions that there is. And you can have access to that for $20 a month, and they give you, I'll show the pricing, but so one-stop shop, bunch of models built in. And they really want to be for creative professionals, you know, and they want to help you build a portfolio and just integrate this. If you're a graphic designer, if you're a photographer, if you're a creative director, they want this to be the tool for you. Yeah, so I'll show you the interface. It's really cool, super fast iterations, and you can get a ton of outputs really fast. And one really cool feature is you can do live collaboration in there, which you'll see. That's one of my favorite pieces, being able to collaborate with my co-founders. We're in different cities, and we can all be in the same workspace, working at the same time. So I just have a few example workflows. My presentation will be pretty quick. So in this example, they were doing a workshop, and they have uploaded these fashion objects for people to use. So these are all different people in this one workplace working live together. The goal was just to use a fashion product and build it in and use some of their workflows. So what I did was I chose this little flower pendant thing, and I picked a photo of myself. And what's nice is, so a lot of times the first step, they will encourage you to get help with your prompt. So a lot of us, we start with ChatGPT, and then we go into whatever tool we want to use. So you can start with that right in the platform. And then here you'll see some outputs where it's just compositing the two pictures together, making the product look like I really have it. So this is just simple object switching. It's really, really good for this. It's definitely really great for fashion, I will say. So if you want to do styling, if you want to just switch things out, it's pretty good at keeping the consistency. So that was that example. This one is an example of how you can composite and edit. So, sometimes in other platforms, you'll be on one page if you're doing photo, and then you want to go to video and you got to switch to a different page. Once again, you don't have to change. So here I was taking 3 pictures of me and my co-founders and wanted to do a composite video of the 3 of us. So you'll see I combine them together. I choose the one I like. You can remove backgrounds, you can upscale, you can animate, you can remove logos. You can do so much just all in one place. So that was this pretty straightforward example, just compositing these pictures. Whereas before, you would take the pictures, maybe go in Photoshop or Canva, remove the background, put them all together, export that, take it into a video animation. It's just removing a lot of extra steps. Okay, and then I'm going to actually go into the platform for these ones. So this was just I just did this in 15 minutes. I was doing a concept for Logan. And so this was exploring cover art. So just to show you kind of how I approach this, we have these 2 examples. We want to kind of combine these 2 ideas. So I brought them both over here. And then what's nice is it's really easy to stay organized versus I don't know if anyone remembers the early Midjourney days where everyone's freaking generations were all in the same thing. We've come so far from having to scroll to find what you're looking for. So all of these options you'll see are all linked together. And then you can choose which ones you like. So in here, I was just taking some interesting concepts, bringing them over and upscaling in this column. So these are all upscales of the options I liked. And then I started applying different styles. So let's say I wanted to bring this and do a new, let's say video. You can actually just start with 4 different boxes. So you can be quickly testing differences between models, between styles, between prompts, between settings. It's super easy to test and iterate, change, recombine, and keep it all in the same place. And then this was another one. So then I've have these grouped. This was one experiment. This was another one where you're seeing more of the styles come together. And then this was a more complex workflow that you'll see. My co-founders and I we want to do a photo shoot together. So we brought in we literally built like a digital wardrobe for ourselves. So we all have our pictures, we all have our different areas where we're working with our like avatars. We've built a digital wardrobe that we can all pull from, and then you'll see here down below, I'm like just iterating with the outfit. So I start with pictures of myself, and then I say, okay, like let's try these 3 skirts. And then I put a skirt on each of the things. Okay, now let's try these boots. Okay, I'm gonna pull different boots in. So it is really, really great for fashion-focused projects. I will say that is what they push a lot. So this is an example of that, to have really great controls as you're iterating and it's not changing like the whole image if you just wanna add one element. Yeah, okay. So my only complaints, because I believe in being transparent, my only complaints about Flora right now is they are not up to industry standard in terms of likeness consistency. I have always had issues, like if I'm just using one picture as a reference for my face, it changes it a lot. When I've had most success is in programs like Higgsfield, where you can do a sole character ID. You're basically training a model on 60 pictures of your face, and then it's able to really consistently get your face in different styles and different settings. Their system is not great at that yet. You can create your own LoRa and upload your own LoRa and generate like just from that. But the use case I most use is I find references, lighting references, settings, outfits, whatever, and I want to combine my face into that scene, or I want to combine elements. So they haven't quite gotten there yet. I know they're actively working on it. And I will say that's in one of my bonuses here, like one of the extra positives about them. They do constantly make updates. They're constantly adding new models, new features. And I know they're working on improving the likeness piece. So once that is fixed and it works as well as Higgsfield Sole Character ID, then I imagine I'll use this a lot more. But that's kind of been one of my holdups. A small thing, if you are in a group session, you can't Control Z to undo. So just don't make the same mistake I did where you're like deleting stuff and you can't undo. That's just a small thing. And like I said, it is really great for fashion. Not the best for music artists right now, but I have a lot of different use cases for it. So I thought people here might find it interesting. And the other bonus I have for them is they do have a ton of hands-on user support. They do workshops, they have online education. You can even go in and find other people's workflows. So if you're like, oh, I'm trying to do like a 3D logo and I don't know how to do it, they have a workflow in here, so you can actually go in and see how someone else has done it step by step, get inspiration. All right, so that is Flora. If you are interested in trying it, I have a QR code, of course. And like I said, it is pretty affordable. You can get 1,000 free credits to start, but yeah, $20 a month for 20,000 credits, and you have Sora, you have Veo, you have Kling, you have Flux, you have, what's the other one we've been using a lot? What? Banana, yep, Nano Banana Pro. Like all of the popular models are in there, so it's really affordable to be able to use all of those. So that's it from me. Thank you, guys.
Super cool. So you guys can imagine that, like, one of the biggest headaches about being an artist is like creating content, right? So you can kind of imagine a world at this point where you can have like agents and stuff creating content for you, and you don't actually have to do it. So I think people are excited about that. Up next, we got Chris McMurtry from Once. So yeah, give it up for Chris. He's vibe coding, right? A little bit. And building something really cool. A lot of people, when we first started doing this, a lot of people were like, you need to talk to Chris McMurtry. You need to talk to Chris McMurtry. And so I've been going back and forth with him really since the beginning. And here he is finally about to reveal what he's been working on. So I'm excited to check it out.
Dude, I just want to say this is awesome, man. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you for having me. And Kat, I don't know if you're still in here, but that was great. Oh, okay, I gotta allow, yeah. Entire screen. Hopefully that works. Yay. You guys see that okay? I can go to light mode if better. What an amazing time to be alive, right? What an incredible time to be a creator and to be in music. I just want to start out by saying that because I see a ton of stuff where there's a lot of bitching and moaning. And then every time I reach out to those folks, I find out they're usually lawyers, marketing folks. They're not creators. And you are the ones that are going to shape the future. And so a bit about me. I was born and raised here in Nashville. Anybody else? Yes. All right. Yeah, there's three of us. It's been awesome seeing Nashville grow, right? You know, it's incredible. Used to have to go to New York to get cool stuff, but yeah. But now we have stuff like this. So thank you, Logan. But yeah. So always been in music. It's kind of in the water here, as you've noticed. But I had the bright idea that I wanted to be a classical music composer, and it is my favorite thing in the world. And yay. And then I got married. And my wife, Anna, was like, so you're about to graduate with a degree in what is it? And I was like, music theory. And she was like, cool. So what's next? And I was like, well, I'm going to go study with Paul Lansky. And she was like, who's Paul Lansky? He's like, oh, he's at Princeton. You'll love him. And she was like, I hate the cold. I was born in Florida. And I was like, basically what she was getting at is how are we going to make money? And I joked with her, or at least I thought I was joking. I said, well, the only company that I will ever work for is Apple. And she said, apply. And so that's where I met Jay, was at Apple. And I had no idea what I was getting into, but it was an incredible time to be at Apple from 2005 to 2014. And I was very fortunate to get to build a few systems there at Apple. Went on to build a classical music system for a company called Naxos. If you're familiar with Naxos, they're the largest distributor of classical music. And then went on to build systems for Universal, Warner, basically in music. And the reason I was able to do that is because I was passionate about one thing, and it was a word that no one had really heard at the time, but we hear a lot about now, and that's metadata. And I was the classical music metadata guy. And while everybody was trying to figure out how to, at the time, get Taylor Swift, 1989, Shake It Off, I was focused on how are we going to fit Ludwig van Beethoven Symphony No. 3 in E-flat major, Opus 55 Eroica, movement number 1, Allegro con brio, as conducted by, as performed by, right, etc., on an iPhone screen, right? You know, so that's how I got to do the things that I get to do. And my sacrifice, air quotes, of working at Apple, I made the decision, okay, I know I was put on this planet to compose. I'm going to spend every day composing. And so I started waking up at 4 o'clock every morning, and I would compose until my first meeting. Well, because most of my meetings were based in Cupertino, you know, I got to compose until 10 o'clock because there, you know, 10 o'clock here is 8 o'clock there. And so I ended up with a lot of music, as you can imagine. And my good friend, Reed Shippen, if you know Reed, he's an engineer here in town. He was like, C-Mac, you got to, that's what most people call me, by the way. C-Mac, you got to start putting that music out there. And I was like, okay. And, you know, I built distribution systems, and so I knew a little bit about it. But I was like, well, I'm going to use DistroKid. I've used DistroKid in the past. And so I was taking the information I put in DistroKid. And then I was like, well, I got to do the thing I've been telling everybody else to do, which is make sure you register with your PRO, make sure you register with SoundExchange, make sure you register with the MLC. Now I'm entering the same data over and over and over. And I got really frustrated, and I was like, there has to be a way to enter that data once and it go everywhere. And so 191 days ago, I started building this in public. And because I'm cool, I do all that on LinkedIn. That was my joke for the night. But yeah, no, it's on LinkedIn, it's on Instagram, but I post every day that which I did that day. Now here's the thing, that's not my full-time job. My full-time job is with a company called OpenPlay, which is incredible, because right now I'm getting to build the royalty platform system for Disney, which is really cool and really fun. But nights and weekends, I'm building ones, and I'm selfishly building it for myself. And if it turns out there are others that want to use it, it's there for them, right? And so 191 days in, we got just over 500 users, and it turns out other people do want to use it. So it's pretty cool. I'm very grateful. I did set a timer, so I wouldn't go over, Logan. Oh, cool. I did good. That was 5 minutes. It felt a lot longer because I hate speaking. But yeah, so do you guys want to see it? Cool. So if you go to once.app, app, another thing is do a ton of research if you decide to start a company. Turns out Once app is a dating app. So I did do research. It's just I've never had the opportunity to look for intimacy online. So I missed that one. But yeah, so, I like the name, so I decided to stick with it because it says what I'm trying to do. But if you go to once.app and you click sign in, by the way, you can all use a code that created before I came here, once and for all caps, but the number 4, once and for all, and that will give you like 15 credits. And oh yeah, I should probably talk about our model. So another thing I was frustrated about, a word I've heard a couple times is transparency. There's not a lot of transparency in the music industry. It's part of why I'm building in public. So that was what I was frustrated about. I also hate subscriptions. And I especially hate subscriptions that are golden handcuffs, where if you cancel the subscription, all your shit comes down. That's really frustrating. And then you start over, right? So with Once, you pay once, and it stays up until you want to take it down. Or if I've had people ask, well, what if I die? Like, well, whoever can log into your account can take it down, right? And then of course, if we go out of business, it would come down as well. So this is being bootstrapped, so the only way it stays alive is from people using it, and it's working out. So, yeah, so with Once, it is what you would expect. It is a chat agent, and I've had users describe it as ChatGPT for music. If you get lost at any point, there's this cute little guy down in the right corner called Note. At least I think he's cute. He blinks and stuff. And you can ask him anything. I heard somebody else talking about support. I see everything. I get notifications about everything. I answer everything. cmac@once.app is my email. And I'm answering stuff through WhatsApp and through Discord. We have a Discord server as of this morning, so you can check that out. But yeah, so enough of talking. You can tell I'm nervous. So let's wake this up, and we'll just say, hey. By the way, is that easier to see, or is this easier? Okay, cool. So a couple things to notice. It realizes it's me. Hey, CMAC, let's get this release started. What's the title? And we will do the title, Nervous on Stage. Right? And notice it said use exact capitalization and whatnot. There's actually a validation agent that if there's anything that is outside of the specification of all the DSPs it's going to, it will take care of that for you. And I can show you what that looks like. Who should be listed as the primary artist? Notice that it says, hey, is it Chris McMurtry? Is it CMAC? Is it Human Underscore? Is it Airline? These are all artists that I release things under. And it has ongoing memories, and you have access to these memories. You can manually edit them. You can tell it what not to remember. So if you wanted to get rid of something. But yeah, so it's going to, the whole idea is that once it knows something once, it shouldn't have to ask you again unless you want it to. So I'm going to say, this one is actually going to be under CMAC. And that's WhisperFlow, by the way, that got that wrong. If you guys use WhisperFlow, I love WhisperFlow. All right, so we'll do CMAC. Cool, I'll set the primary artist to CMAC. What's the release date you want? Well, all the releases come out on Friday, and tomorrow is a Friday, so I want to release it tomorrow. So you can use natural language, talk, about what the way that you would talk to anyone. What's the genre? Notice it says, hey, your default is ambient. You usually do ambient. Is this also going to be ambient? No, this one's actually alternative. And now it will, it's going to ask you these questions one at a time. Why do I have it ask the questions one at a time? Because at first, it learned everything, and it took about 14 seconds, and all of my users thought it was broken because they were like, hey, it's already done. What happened? They didn't know it was already done. They were just like, it quit working. I was like, no, actually, your release was done, and it's on its way to Spotify, right? So I started doing these questions to make people feel more comfortable. Another thing I did to make people feel more comfortable is in the top right corner. You can say show data, and it'll actually show you what it's doing as we're going. So I'll leave that up for a moment. Here you can see it's asking for the artwork. One of the things that I hated doing was deciding on artwork. So I was like, hey, I'll just make it where it'll make artwork for me. So for the cover art, let's do downtown Nashville and make sure that 615 is prominent. And so you might notice there it says Patron 4K Gemini 3 Pro. We started having people be like, hey, this is too cheap. I want to contribute. And I'm just like, well, I don't want you to just donate money. What if we start a patron tier and we'll give you access to cool stuff that we're testing before it's available to others? So that's what the patron thing is. And one of the things you notice is it's 4K Gemini 3. It's a much larger model. It's going to do more detailed artwork. And the reason I wanted to go in that detail, because I knew it was going to take a minute to create the artwork. But let's take a look. Hey, not bad, right? And you can be like, hey, change this. I don't like this. Let me start over. The next thing I'm doing is making it to where you can start with something that you upload and then tell it to modify that, right? And that looks fine. Use it, right? And so it's going to throw it over there. And I'm doing okay time-wise. So now, notice it also asked me other questions while it was generating the artwork so that you could go ahead and be doing things. How many tracks is going to be on this release? I'm going to do 2 tracks on this release. And what I'll do is I'll do one that was AI generated or where I used AI, and another that I just recorded in Logic. So cool. We told it there's 2 tracks. We got a place to upload those tracks, right? And so we'll do Cautiously by Candlelight as the first one. And we'll do Savasana as the second one. All right, so upload the 2 audio files for this release, WAV, FLAC preferred. You can actually upload just about any audio. And it's going to do its best to infer titles. But you can, of course, change the titles if you'd like. Another thing that I'm adding, hopefully in the next couple weeks, is basically tags, where it will start to analyze the audio and add tags as well as suggest genres, things like that. So, all right, they both finished uploading. Hopefully you could see this okay. But you see that Savasana says AI detected in audio. And so that's doing a number of things. It is obviously tagging that as an AI component in that. It's sending that to DSPs so that they know what contains AI, what doesn't. There are some specific AI DSPs that we're working with, and so it'll also send it to them as well. All right, next up, please upload the audio files. We did that, and you must contain the rights. Great. Cool, that's uploaded. Anything else? Cool, that's simpler than you think, y'all. No, that's not it. Let me just type. Uploaded, what's next? And it's basically, it has all of the information that once it has all the information it thinks it needs. Now notice here, it is not asking for songwriter or contributor or anything like that. It's actually inferring that from my previous releases. And so you can see that there, like, hey, who are the writers, full legal names, what are the split percentage? If it's just you, confirm it's Chris. And yep, just me. And then we should see a final, one more required check. Is flagged as AI, is that right? Yep, that's good. Cool, so now you see, hey, here's what everything looks like. You have the opportunity to edit it if you would like. You can change things. And then it's like, hey, this is gonna cost 4 credits. So what is a credit? Well, basically, my goal was to make it to where this was no more than $1 a track, and you pay once, and it stays up until you say take it down. And I was like, okay, well, how are we going to do this? And I decided upon the idea of credits and how much to charge for the credits. Well, if a song is 3 minutes long, that would be about 33 1/3 cents a minute, which is another reference to vinyl, right? So that it says this is what it's going to cost you. You say confirm, distribute everywhere, and within 20 minutes to an hour, it is live, and that's it. Yes, ma'am. Right now, exactly 30 streaming platforms right now. Yeah.
So is this a replacement for DistroKid?
I get asked that question a lot. That was not the intent. Exactly, and in fact, we own the domain distroadult.com. You can also get to the same website through that. We also own Stop Distro Kidding. But I actually have a huge amount of respect for Phil and for DistroKid. Yes. Yeah, so let's dig into that. So if you go, and I'm just going to go to a previous release because it's easier to see and I can get to it quicker. But if you go to a track and you go to view details, you have all of that information associated. I'm having trouble seeing, I apologize. I was going to show you the splits if I can. There we go. So this is the publishing agent. And so here you can go in, you can tell the agent, who all of the writers are. You can make sure that one's got their PROs right, because it's inferring information from various data sources that we pull in. But the agent follows up with you to make sure that you have all of that correctly. So we're using, if you're familiar with Unison, which is a PRO out of Spain. And so we send the information to Unison. They make sure that it goes to your PRO. If you do not have a PRO, then you're now with Unison. And all this is explained in there. And then they also send it to the MLC for you as well. Did that answer the question? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yes, ma'am.
The release date.
Yep.
Set that in advance?
You can, yes. Yep. Yep. And there's also a edit and redistribute. So if you're like, oh, I forgot to do this, or I actually want this, or I like this artwork better, you can click edit and redistribute and make those changes. And then if you ever do that, the thing to remember is that the agent is handling everything. So you always want to start with, hey, agent, do this, right? Or, just tell it what you're wanting. And then if it ever doesn't know, it literally lets me know, and then I reach out to you, right? Yes.
Can I just ask why the PRO in Spain?
So actually, the expert's actually sitting with us in Ben Baylor. First off, Jordy is the CEO there. He's kind of one of us, and is very forward-thinking. And a bit about Unison. Oh, look, my timer. A bit about Unison is they started because there was some not very nice things that the existing PRO in Spain was doing, and so he started Unison as an alternative for that. And one of the common things that people think is like, oh, if I'm in Germany, I need to be with GAMA. If I'm in England, I need to be with PRS. If I'm in the US, I need to be ASCAP BMI. You can actually be with any PRO as long as they have agreements worldwide. And so the reason for working with Unison is there's a whole lot of less red tape because Jordy's a friend, and I know he'll always do what's right for the artist. Yes, Jay?
So when you edit your release, does it create a whole new song, or does it actually edit what's on the DSPs?
So when you go to edit, let's just go to edit, and you'll see so I'm going to go here to edit and redistribute. It'll tell you, it wants you to use the agent at first, that's why that was collapsed. But you can actually uncollapse, and you can see here everything that can be edited. And this says safe edits, no takedown required, right? And so everything there you can edit, and then it will update in the DSPs. Anything down lower where it says that a takedown is required, then you can replace audio, yes. So with a takedown required, it would take it down, duplicate the release, and then put it back up. Yep.
So is this just you kind of aggregating the requirements for each DSP of what is a takedown, what is not a takedown update? And
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, because I know it's different every shop.
That's right, yeah.
So this is cool. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, we literally just been training it on all the various requirements, and
Heuristic, like Spotify will allow this one.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's constantly looking, and because they change all the time, right? It's like so. Yes, ma'am.
I was just curious. I have original music on other platforms and during the stream.
Mhm.
I have one cover song that got flagged by Spotify because somebody put it on a play.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to take it down from DistroKid or whatever.
Yep.
Would I be able to do a cover song on your platform?
Absolutely, you can. And then something you're not seeing here that I'm looking to move into the agent is we have ACR built in, which is automatic content recognition. So if I were to upload your audio, it's going to say, hey, I see this has been distributed to Spotify. And it won't let it until I approve it, right? And so there's a whole system that reaches out and makes sure it's you and whatnot. But yeah, yes.
Again, you said your company going to go down.
It only goes down if you're editing something like the ISRC, the UPC, the artwork, the audio, any of the assets. Yeah. So most of the metadata is safe to edit, and it'll just do an update. But if you're editing anything like an ISRC or an asset, then it would take down and then put back up.
Can you actually show us all those platforms where you were showing like?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Logan just kicked me off anytime.
About 3 minutes,
Cool.
and then but we're gonna loop back around and have a Q&A and roundtable discussion. So there'll be open Q&A for anybody that has presented. So you'll have a chance to ask more questions.
Yeah, so Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, TikTok, Amazon, Tidal, New Day, Pandora, KKBox, iMusica, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Angami, JioSaavn, AWA, Tencent, NetEase, Facebook, Mixcloud, Boomplay, Snap, Peloton, AudioMac, Jukes. So it's exactly 30 at the moment. So.
Will everything stay on those distribution sites after the count comes down, or something happens?
It depends on, so
Even if you went out of business or I end my account type thing?
yeah, they come down. That's right. Yeah.
Off the Spotify?
That's right. Yes. Yep. Now, if you, that's if once goes out of business or you issue a takedown, right? As long as you don't do anything, it's going to stay up and, right. Yeah. That's, that's the idea. But yeah. We'll see what the answer is. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for all the questions. That was fun. That was awesome. Yeah.
All right, well, if you have more questions, just hold the thought. We're going to get through one more incredible presentation, and then we're going to open up the floor for people to share their thoughts, ask questions, try to just get a roundtable type discussion going about all these things, as everybody's mind is currently being blown right now. So up next we got Manish. And he is a home member, an incredible music producer, EDM producer, really super smart tech guy. And here lately, he's been dialing in how to basically take Suno AI generated music and actually turn it into non-AI generated music. So I'm excited to hear about this because this is actually probably the most common question, I think, from music people right now. So give it up for Manish.
I do have a song that I can play at the end if I don't know about audio, or I can Bluetooth into something with my phone. Hey everybody, my name's Manish. I'm a producer and an artist. I've been at this for a really long time. My claim to fame is in the 90s, I had the #1 club record in Holland for like the summer, right? So one of the things that, and just to tell you about myself here, I've got a couple of artist projects I just started releasing under the name Max Holmes, and I have a partner that I'm doing a project called Big House, who's a British rapper. Basically what I wanted to do was a bunch of tests with Suno, figure out like a couple of different scenarios of starting points. So one of the things I did was like straight up a pure prompt, right? So I had Grok write some lyrics or whatever, and then Suno make the music and then whatnot. That's kind of, I'm not gonna call it the lazy way, but the people, the people we worry about that are just gonna make AI slop, that's pretty much the way they're gonna do it. And I wanted to test that out. I also wanted to test out, like, what if I start with this, not actually a flushed out idea, like a 32-bar loop that had some variation in it? How far could I take that? And then one of the main areas is starting with a full song. So something I had done years ago, let me modernize it and so forth. I applied basically the same workflow on all of them. So the first thing I did was you upload it into Suno, and I'll show you some screenshots of that if you haven't tried that yet. By the way, has everyone done that? Are you guys trying Gen AI music? Okay, cool. All right, so the first thing is you make variations, right? And with Suno, it's really easy to flood yourself with a shit ton of variations by hitting, go again, and then every time there's two, and then you listen to them and you're like, wow, that one part is pretty cool, and then this other song, that one part is pretty cool, and then you're sort of overloaded. So I would caution you on that as something to work through. The next piece is stemming them, and I've got warping in there because I'm an Ableton user. I don't know how that works in Logic or anywhere else, but that's basically locking to time. And then cleaning, I'm going to get into that. Everything that's in red, I'm going to get into in more detail. And then on the production side, I make electronic dance music, so I really focused on the kick, the snare, and the sub. And then on occasion, I would extract the MIDI and then replace the instruments and so forth. I found that I was using a lot of the generated stuff for like ear candy and samples and things like that. There's also a VST, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, called Synplant 2, which is nuts. Like basically what you can do is you can put a sample into it, and it uses AI, and it analyzes the parameters, and it gives you a synth patch that you can actually control. So if you want to copy a sound like that's in anywhere, you can basically do that or come pretty close. So then the next thing I would do is mix and arrange. A lot of that is EQ. EQ is very important when working with AI stems. Also, I print a lot. I never used to print a lot. I used to keep things in MIDI. Now I print like there's no tomorrow. The master chain is important as well. And then finally, testing it against AI checkers, right? So there's various, like if you Google free AI detectors, and then eventually, release something. So that's kind of the overarching structure. So in creating the variations, you have a bunch of different options. I like to do covers. I do like to start with something I did. And so I would do that. And for people who don't know, like you can put your lyrics in. Styles is basically the prompt. And then advanced options is really interesting. That's where you put these weights in on like, here's my cover and I want it to have a 25% influence. Or oftentimes, I actually set that to 100 because I really wanted to take what I did and give me something that's grounded in that, like very significantly. And then, I play with weirdness levels and style influences and whatever, generate, and then you have 300 tracks that you just generated. So that's kind of how it gets a little bit complicated. One of the things that I advise people to do is name them properly, because when you hit generate on the song, it will give both of the versions the same name. And so when you're downloading stems and like whatever, like it's just easier to do that. So let's talk about stems. I like this analogy. It might be stupid. I'm open to a better analogy. Basically, I kind of think that AI is like a replicator for you Star Trek nerds. It generates the entire sandwich for you, right? And then when you want a stem, you're basically breaking it apart, and you've got mayo all over everything. And that's basically your artifacts. Like it never splits it the same way. Different stem splitters split stuff differently. So it's kind of hard to be totally clean. And this is really the key. This is the thing you got to clean properly. By way of stemming themselves, like stem splitters, Suno has one. It'll give you two versions. One of the things that's nice about it is you can get tempo locked. So that helps with not having to warp and things like that. I like to use Stemulator. I discovered this. This thing is so awesome, and I'm going to tell you exactly why in just a minute. But I tend to I will generate Suno stems just because why not? But I mainly use Stemulator. Stemulator's like $15 a month, and it's unlimited use to do stemming, and it's really quite good. So the next part, of course, is you've got the stems, you've brought them, you bring them into your project file. So in the stemming process, you're warping and timing, alignment, and all of that. If you guys are in Ableton and you don't know how to do this in bulk, like you don't have to do each one at a time, that would be hellish. You can do all of them. If you don't know how to do that, talk to me. I'll tell you. It's pretty easy, but that's obviously very important. Okay, this is the big one. If you guys have worked with AI stems, have you noticed this thing here? It's there. So you need to check everything that's coming out of AI, and you need to EQ that thing out. Like they talked about like Suno, Shimmer, or like whatever. Like just for cleanliness sake, that's very, very common. You want to watch for that. Unless you like that spike, then you just keep it. And then this is the other part. So cleaning effects chain. So this is my effects chain. I have it as an object. I just drop it in. So the first thing I do is I EQ, which is cutting off that thing, the spike. The second thing, these are just little controls around mid and side. If I want to kind of get rid of the sides or make it more mid, make it mono, depending on what it is. There's a spectral denoise, then I decrackle, declick, and de-reverb. I use iZotope. Highly recommend it, except for the fact that Native Instruments is bankrupt, so who knows what's going to happen to that software. Native Instruments is filed for bankruptcy. We can talk about that later. Sorry. So, what I recommend is if you have the ability to build reusable chains, like definitely have like an AI stem cleaner. You can set it, different settings and so forth. What's nice about iZotope too is you can just like isolate the part you're getting rid of, right? So like just listen to the noise, let's listen to the reverb. That helps you kind of adjust the levels and so forth of what you're removing. All right, so I've got my stems and all of that sort. So the next thing is I produce. Stemulator. The reason I love Stemulator is that it does like 2 levels of stemming. So, you'll get your drums, your bass line, your music, and your effects, or whatever, your 4 lanes. What Stemulator does is you can stem the drums out into kick, hat, snares, cymbals. You can stem the music out. You can also stem the vocals to forefront and background, right? This is critical for me in my workflow because what I do is I absolutely always replace the kick drum because I make dance music. I want control and power, right? So I use a drum replacement plugin. It's a UVI plugin. There's a bunch of these that are out there. I really like it. You can stack up to 8 samples, basically do thresholds and things like that. So very, very, very handy for replacing both the kick, the snare. A lot of times I keep the hats that come out, even though they're kind of like whatever. Like I'll have my own hats, but I'll put what was there like kind of lower in the mix and things like that. So that's very, very useful. And then of course you can extract the grooves and for swing purposes and things like that. One thing to point out is when you're doing like extraction of MIDI, like with the sub, for example, I also replace the sub. So I try to, if I'm starting with something that I had written, I always have the MIDI of the original sub, so that's a good thing. But sometimes it comes up with cool variations, and I either by ear figure it out. I'm not that great at that, especially in the kind of music I make that has a lot of like modulations and things like that. But getting the MIDI out is really helpful, and I use tuners like Mixed in Key LE. I don't know if anybody uses that, and so forth. All right, and then of course it's just the standard production, so pull it back in. So one of the things that I've been doing is basically taking an original, getting Suno to remix it, getting the stems, remixing the stems back into my original. And then basically there's like a balance of, I've done things that are really heavily AI, and then I've done things that are, sprinkles of AI. What I like about it is that, I used to collaborate with someone. I'm basically a solo producer. I believe that collaboration, you're always making everything better. And there are things I'm really good at and things I'm not good at. And if used properly, Suno is helping me with the things I'm not good at. And I can pull those in and have source material and so forth. I've got this little device up here. This has nothing to do with anything, but I want to tell you about it anyway because it's life-changing and it's so stupidly simple. It is a really simple like volume device where at the max, it's at 0. And so I do a lot of volume automation, and I was using like a utility that would go, increase gain or decrease gain. And that was a pain in the ass because, you can accidentally increase the gain. This device is more like a DJ fader. So when it's all the way at the top, that's as loud as whatever the track level is, and then you can just pull it down. It makes life so much easier. If anybody wants this device, I can show you how to build it, or I can just give it to you. But life-changing for me. Highly recommend. So I guess in a second I'll play a song, but the song that I put this thing through, this AI checker, Don't Stop, came out as, what? Human, very likely, 99%. I don't know if you can see this. Hybrid, highly unlikely. Pure AI, highly unlikely. I would say that this track is probably 30% AI. But using this process, I actually wanted to be as like total AI as possible to see if I could fool the checkers, and it works. So you guys should try it out. It's the stem cleaning, it's the replacing of the key parts, all of that sort. So you can basically be less detectable, at least right now. And I usually check against two AI checkers. So that's pretty much my workflow. I'm having a great time with this. It's super fast once you kind of figure out the components and have like reusable objects, having the drum replacer, having like just sort of the methodology of going through. And I feel like the results have been tremendous. The good news is the track that I guess I'll play you in a second, I went back and I listened to the original, and I was very surprised that the original like did not suck. Because in many ways, I listened to AI making a song, and I'm like, holy crap, this is so much better than me. Like, what am I going to do? I want to stay human, and I want to keep my imperfections and my poor judgment reflected in my music, because I have a friend who is like outputting like AI. I don't want to insult it, but it's definitely like high velocity AI slop. He's not really a producer. He's doing like great catchy melodies. Like he's good at what he does, but there's just something so sterile about it. It's like it doesn't sort of capture, it's not anything I want to listen to, even though it's in the genres I listen to, right? So when I listen to stuff that like I make or other humans make, I'm like, hey, that's a little weird, or that's whatever. I think that keeps the character. And I feel like this is a interesting process of where you can start fully prompted or with something you've created and make new versions. For this particular track, I'm actually gonna remix, not remix, but I don't want to say remix as in recompose, but do the mix of the original. And now I have two versions. So I feel like this is a really fast way to produce remixes, EPs, things like that, that have some cohesion to one another. That's pretty much the slides. Can you share this? Yeah, absolutely. Do I have audio? Yep. All right. So this is like 2.5 minutes.
You can share the slide deck, and we'll also publish the replay, the live stream replay inside of our platform. So you create an account at homemusic.app.
If you didn't hear that, I'm telling Manish that he can share this slide deck on the home platform just so everybody can have it. And if you don't already have an account with us, it's just homeformusic.app, and you can create an account for free, and lots of cool stuff on there, and get plugged in with our events and our community and all kinds of cool stuff. So
this is the track. I took your advice. Oh yeah? Yes.
Don't
for that track, the chords were created by AI. In the original, I had a different set of chords. The sounds are similar, but like AI came up with something I thought was better. The vocals were AI. A lot of the textural stuff was AI. The underlying hats were AI. A bunch of the ear candy was AI. Like there's definitely a lot. And I would say it's hugely AI, but it's also hugely me. And I really appreciate being able to kind of work with it as a collaborator. And I hope you guys try it out and have some great results too. And by the way, if you come up with better stuff, like I am all ears, like we're all experimenting and we're all learning together. So, really happy to hear from you guys as well. Thank you.
Yeah, give it up for Manish. Max Holmes. Also, his Big House project is super cool. It kind of reminds me like Prodigy, if y'all remember that. Making super cool music. So, all right. Let's see if this pops back up on the screen here. We're gonna start now with our roundtable discussion. So, the idea here is that there's a lot of kind of a lot of people have opinions about AI. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. It seems to be one of those kind of wedge issues where it's dividing a lot of people. What I like to do is bring people together, help people see both sides of a situation, see the good and the potential bad, right? So this section of the event, we're going to do maybe 15, 20 minutes, but we want to open it up not only for if anybody has questions for any of the presenters tonight. If you just have like a question in general about AI, maybe somebody here can answer. Maybe I can't answer it. Maybe somebody else can answer it. Or maybe there's multiple answers and it's more of an opinion thing and we just kind of get a conversation going. So I'll just kind of throw it out there to anybody. Anybody have a question, comment, concern about AI? And we're gonna pass around this mic right here, and I'm gonna switch out.
All right. Hello. A lot of great info, so thank you. So my biggest question is so I use Suno, right? So I upload my vocal, guitar, melody, my own lyrics, my melody, the whole thing, and then I generate that track, right? And try to get it as close to my original demo as possible. So if I go and release that, and I put my vocal on top of that instrumental, can I go and release that, or should I change some of the stuff that's in that instrumental?
That is a good question. So at this point, and there might be some legal experts in here because this is actually going to kind of dip over into copyright and attribution. I think is a good word here to kind of introduce that. These models have been built off of just the canon of music in general, right? And so the big stink is that they were trained on copyrighted music. And so the big push within the industry, and maybe Chris is probably hip to some of this stuff. He's probably dialed into some of these conversations. So feel free to come up here if you got something to say about this. But I'm gonna give you at least the surface level that I understand about it. So the push is for let's say Universal Music. They want to be able to analyze that song and figure out what exact material that they own is inside of that song that you generated. And they want to get paid for it. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think there's a problem with releasing it right now, but there could be a problem in the future in terms of royalties and you being able to monetize it. So do you have something else to add to that?
And I use it mostly for demos for pitching right now.
So in order to release something, you need to own the recording, and you cannot be the first person, or AI, I guess. No, you cannot be the first release of the work, right? And so in everything you described, the work was yours, right? You wrote the lyrics, you talked about your guitar melody, and it's your melody. And then you had basically a co-writer, a co-producer in AI, and then you're asking, hey, this is all my audio except for the audio that was from the AI. Yes, you can release that.
Woohoo!
Now, what Logan was saying is absolutely true, and the law is basically changing in real time. But here in February 18th, 19th, sorry. As of February 19th, you can. And the next question is okay, if I have distributed that, where does the money go? And that has to do not just with attribution, but with copyright. And that is, to Logan's point, what is in Flux. And so if you were to distribute that through DistroKid or through CD Baby, and a lot of distributors are understandably, like saying, we're just going to be over here and you guys figure that out. And then once it's figured out, then, we'll decide what to do. And from a legal standpoint, that makes a ton of sense, right? But the short answer is, as of right now, yes, it's fine. Yes, you can collect all the money on it. However, that may change.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Right. Anybody have anything to add to that, or just another question?
Hello. Thank you, everybody who presented today. Also, a lot of interesting information. I wanted to ask about with the user of AI and like constantly lowering cost, like time cost and budget cost to produce music. Everything eventually will start sounding like more similar and more up to standards. So would we expect a rising interest in something that's imperfect and recorded fully live, for example, with absolutely no AI or production, just like one take cut? Is that something to expect, or I don't know, any thoughts on that?
I'm going to guess yes, and that's a guess, but just in the same way that once you had digital audio workstations and you had Melodyne, Autotune, all these things, there was like a corresponding resurgence in vinyl. People miss the hiss of the record, and they miss the imperfections like Manish was talking about. I'm going to guess yes, but I'm guessing even more live experience, period. Like watching somebody who's a virtuoso performer. Because my guess is that so it takes a lot of discipline to learn an instrument, right? Or to learn how to sing or to learn how to produce. And so as these tools get better and better, it's basically creating this it's disincentivizing us, or it's making it to where, if I can just get a good enough guitar track, the incentive for me to learn how to actually play a guitar goes down. And so I'm guessing it's already takes a lot of discipline. It's really hard to get really good at an instrument. But then whenever everybody else kind of loses the incentive in general to learn an instrument, I'm thinking that less people will actually learn how to play instruments. And therefore, the people who actually can really play instruments will become a little bit more rare, and there would be more of a premium on it. This is my guess, but I have no idea. Anybody else have anybody want to take a swing at that? Come on, Manish.
All right, this is a great topic. Basically, clearly the world is changing, everything about everything. My personal view is like I'm one of those people who believes that everything is fake. And I'm talking government, money, science, healthcare, everything is fake. And if you live in a world where you're calling your mom, and that could be fake also, the only thing that's going to matter is that I get to see you in person. And so I absolutely think the musicians that are going to be saved, producers, are live musicians, because we're going to want that human contact, because pretty soon there's going to be robots everywhere. We're seeing it, like it's all coming, right? Well, when they have their like fake skin and stuff, and it's harder to tell, but that's at least 3 years away. So.
Yeah. Will robots be able to, play an acoustic guitar like Tommy Emmanuel? I think it's going to be one of the very last things to happen. But realistically, if they're self-improving, it is in the realm of possibility, actually. And I would assume that they're just going to invent new instruments that we don't even think about anyway. It's kind of weird. It's actually very weird. You wanna use this?
In the late 1700s, this guy invented a thing called an automatron. It was a mechanical device that could literally play a flute. And all the musicians freaked out about it. So it's been going on for a long time.
This is not related, but I just had somebody show me the other day a video of this instrument that Benjamin Franklin invented. I can't even remember what it's called. But I guess he saw somebody doing the thing where you like go around the rim of a crystal glass or bowl with your finger, and you can make it sing. And so he basically got a whole bunch of those with different diameter or different radius, and separated them to where you can hold multiple fingers on them at a time and create chords. and it's just on a wheel, a glass harmonica. That's glass harmonica. Yeah, not related to AI, but very cool. Oh wow! All right, who else had something to say about it?
I have a new question for Chris. If we bring Chris back.
Come on up, Chris.
About once. I'm just wondering if you tried connecting directly with BMI and ASCAP, or you just didn't want the headache and you had your homie over and,
I spent a lot of time in their boardrooms.
Okay.
Actually, if we have, I'll give you the 2-minute story. So the first version of Once, I was using OpenAI's Operator, if you've seen that. It's now part of the Atlas browser where it will control your screen. And I had just finished a score for a film, and there were 28 tracks. And I was like, here we go again. I got to enter all these one by one. And I was like, I wonder if Operator will just register this for me. And it did, and I put that video up on LinkedIn. Next thing I know, I'm being flown to France to talk to CISAC, the umbrella organization of all the PROs, and they're like, how did you do that? And I showed them how, and it was because they wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. So yes, I've talked to them. But there's actually another company called Mogul. If you might have seen some of their ads on Instagram. Jeff, their CEO, is awesome. Really, you remember when SoundCloud came out with distribution, and you could use SoundCloud Pro to distribute. Yeah, the way that they did that is they bought Jeff's company, and so that was Jeff. And Jeff has now built Mogul. Well, Mogul will actually you can log in to your existing ASCAP, BMI, even DistroKid account, and then Mogul will take it from there. as a very small company, I don't have that legal overhead, to basically store people's, performing rights organization username and passwords. I can do it securely. I just don't. As soon as there's an accusation, I don't have the legal team to go after it. So.
Okay, I was actually thinking maybe they'd have an API that they could publish you, but maybe they're not that savvy.
I'm glad you
Or
asked.
you wouldn't have to be logging in for user, and you could just ping an API with your registry.
I asked for that API, and it doesn't exist. However, SysAC, since I met with them and I asked for the API, now has an API, and which is very, very cool to see. And any of us can have it for 36,000 euros a month. So not very useful either. But when I was in France with Gadi, who is over SysAC, man, his heart is in the right place. He's got obviously a lot of folks to answer to, right? And I do think we will get there. That's part of why I'm trying to be so transparent with Once, is to kind of let everybody know it's okay. Like you can do things right.
I was recently involved with a startup in the publishing space, and I had very similar impression that like we just are technologically cavemen in a lot of ways, and there's a big collaboration between tech and music that still needs to happen. That's like still not going deep enough.
Right.
So I'm so excited to see stuff like this.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
And I don't want to give up the mic, but I have another follow-up question. I can come back to it later, I guess.
I got something. Mike's in the air.
Anything else? We're going to go back to Bruce.
So, quick question, probably for Manish. So the little,
Come on, Manish.
I think I had heard about the little spike on the far right. So, two questions about that. If that's rolled off, do you feel like, I'll ask these separately, if you roll that off, do you feel like that's helping
Yes.
fool
Yes.
the checkers?
Yes.
Okay. And second question, if you roll that off, is that helping kind of get, and I was talking to Chris about this earlier, is that helping to get that kind of out of my AI converted vocal, like when I convert myself to Whitney Houston or whatever?
Of course. I think it's something to try, right? So there were, in that track, there were a lot of frequencies kind of all over the place. Sometimes it wasn't great. And so I was using like dynamic EQing. So the very first thing I did was get rid of the spike, but some of the sounds definitely had that. And so it was just a lot of EQing. So one of the things that I wanted to communicate, like some people think that, using AI is easy. It actually does take work. If you want to do something quality, it actually does take work. So as a starting point, it's great. I'd be happy to experiment with you and maybe we can see what we can do about it. But those are the kinds of things I would do. And I would also do the removing of like the crackle and the kind of that effects chain that I was saying as a starting point. De-reverbing, like that's a big one. Like that's another big thing that they use to detect.
Oh, and kind of to call back to her question earlier. So is that little spike going to happen on everything it generates or just vocal stuff?
So that's the thing. Like, to be fair, like I don't really look at the full sandwich. I look at the stems. And so it's the stemming part that I think that somehow does that, because that is also AI that's disassembling it, right? So there's the Suno sheen, that's its own thing. But once it's stemmed, you really do want to inspect the stems individually, visually, and then you'll be able to see what's going on.
Okay, so whether it's a vocal or a tambourine or whatever,
That's
or a
right.
keyboard, it's probably going to put that little...
I've seen it on literally everything. Like every single stem, I've seen it on everything. So that's what I figured. Yeah.
All right. We got time for a couple more.
This is just about rights. You mentioned doing cover songs on Once.
Come on up.
I was just curious if you were going to get involved in confirming that rights were secured for covers or anything, or you're just kind of making that assumption and doing the distro for them.
No, we actually do confirm the rights
Cool.
with that. Yes. And another thing too, so if you ever start a distribution company, you will get a lot of fraudsters. They basically just jump from distributor to distributor as they're taken down. And you can learn a lot from taking the time to dig in. And so when they use a distribution company, it generates a lot of rights very quickly, a lot of times through artificial streaming, right? And another thing that Once does is we actually track down who the rights owner is, that they did not have permission to put that up, and we will go and make sure that money gets to them.
You're talking like these bulk cover fraudster guys.
You're
You're talking about these bulk cover making operations.
I'm not sure about the bulk.
Well, I'm asking about just rights for uploading a cover to Once.
Oh,
just
right.
Whether you're confirming this.
Yeah. So the thing with covers, where other distributors, or I'll just say distributors in general, Once is. I'm not just saying this. Once is not designed to replace these distributors. It's designed to make it easier for us to hopefully use the distributor we want, right? You know. But where they get hung up is with HFA, right? When it comes to covers, which is you don't have to get a blanket license for streaming. There's a mathematical equation for streaming, but as soon as you say, "Hey, I want this to be download," right? Then you have to account for HFA.
It's like sales.
Exactly. So the way that HFA works is you actually be like, I think there's going to be 200 people that download this, or I think there's going to be 20,000 people that download, and you pay that up front, right? That's the way HFA works. So where I'm going with that is, you resolve a lot of the complexity with covers simply by just removing the physical and the download aspect of that.
Yeah, that's right.
And distributors would help themselves a lot if they're like, hey, does anybody want to go anywhere other than a streaming service, right? Just ask that question. And what doesn't help things is we as artists be like, I want to go everywhere, right? Really? Like, are you being listened to everywhere? Yeah. Like I mentioned the 30 places it goes. There's a whole lot more, over 200 it could go. But I don't think it's worth it, right? And same thing with how cover songs are being treated. So basically just take out the complexity.
Cool, thanks.
Hey, Chris, that was a really cool presentation.
Thanks, man.
I'm excited to dive into this.
Yay.
Did I understand correctly? So any royalty collection from the DSPs would go through the PRO?
No.
How does the royalty collection work?
Yeah. So, is it okay? Okay, cool. All right, cool. So, back to the previous question. And forgive me if I'm, going too in the weeds, but you have, the master recording and you have the work, right? And of course, the work is divided into two. You have the writer, you have the publisher, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that side of it. It's the artist, the master recording part of it.
Yeah.
That's the curious part I was wondering about.
So that's, that's your streaming is not going to go through the PRO, right? There is a performance royalty that's part of it that will go through the PRO. But the streaming royalties that the distributor receives on your behalf from the DSPs I think that's what you're asking about.
Yeah, right? I guess maybe I'm misunderstanding. Is Once actually an aggregator or just a company that will work with the aggregator, like say DistroKid?
Yeah. So full transparency, and this is on the site, we actually work with a company called Revelator, who is an aggregator, and we're on their rails and their pipes. Okay. And Once is the agentic interface on top of Revelator.
Okay. So then Revelator would actually collect the master rights owners
Yep.
royalties and
Once Revelator gives that in full thing, Revelator works with a company called Tapalti. Tapalti gets that from the DSPs, who gives that to Revelator, who gives that to us, and then we give that to you.
okay, so it does come through the same interface though of once.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they do any negotiating with the DSPs at all, or?
No. As far as rates go,
Yeah, the rates
within that,
similar to
So
DistroKid.
the rates that Once is using is all with Merlin. If you're familiar with the Merlin network, yeah. So it's the same rates as with Merlin gets. If Once is validated, and it's looking like it probably will be, I'll then have direct deals with Apple Music and Spotify.
Hey, one more really quick question, right along the same lines. Thank you for clearing this up. I
Yeah.
understand now the
I'm
music.
sorry I misunderstood
The
your question at
royalty
first.
for the master recordings is coming through you guys through some other companies.
That's right, yeah,
But the
yeah.
interface will be from you.
Yeah, and what Once does, I see the confusion now. So what
Yes.
Once does is to make sure that everybody else has the same data, so that everybody's singing off the same sheet music, and right. You know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Very
that all the same data is the same at the MLC, at your PRO,
Yes.
at Sound Exchange.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then you don't have to be the one to go and enter it all those
Perfect.
places.
Now that's that just made it even better. One last question.
Yep.
Any analytics on the back
Yeah,
side of things?
yeah, it's all
in
there. Yeah,
Awesome.
on day one. Yeah.
Okay, man. Thank you so much, Chris.
You're welcome. Yeah, including you can see what playlist you're being added to on Spotify, and things like that. So.
It's me again. So, with cover songs, do you need a license before you add them to be distributed?
My answer, no.
Okay.
Right.
And I've heard that before. I
Right.
was just curious.
Yep.
Okay.
And the reason I say my answer no
Mhm.
is because you can pay somebody more money to tell you that yes, you do. However, it is the responsibility whoever is giving you that answer to make sure that the attribution and the money flows to the right people, right? And some folks charge a lot, include it in the distribution fee.
Okay. Because I've been told if you upload a cover, it goes to the original person somehow, and they either approve or deny it. And I don't know how true that is. And then maybe they give you back the money that you spent recording. That's hard for me to believe that they would do that.
They definitely don't give
Right?
you your money back.
That's what I thought. That's
yeah.
what I thought. So, and that when somebody told me that, I was like, yeah, I don't think that's true, but I'm going to listen.
Yeah, like when I did an arrangement of Philip Glass String Quartet that I love, I did it for electric guitars. I reached out to Orange Mountain Music and said, hey, this is what I'd like to do. They immediately got back to me and were like, yes. Did I have to do that? No, but I wanted them to have a heads up on it.
Cool.
So
Okay. So we can release cover songs.
you can.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
cool.
You can also release stuff with samples and remixes because Once is detecting all of the usage that's in there.
Okay.
Now the thing is it will automatically deduct what you're getting because Once is going to try and make sure everybody gets there. And I usually do a really good job of staying in the present and not speak to what's coming.
Yeah.
But that piece is what's getting better and better and better is that attribution piece based on that automatic content recognition, the
Cool.
ACR.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Give it up for everybody that shared tonight. You guys ready to hear some music? We got an amazing artist coming up. We got Alice Vibe. Go ahead and start making your way to the stage, Alice. We're going to get her changed over. And in the meantime, we're going to invite up Joel Kaiser. He's one of our partners. He's been helping with the live stream tonight, and he's just going to tell y'all real quick about the Music City Make-a-thon. Come on up, man.
Thanks, Logan. Thanks for bringing everyone together, making it happen here. This has been crazy since August, and we're doing music's premier innovation experience with Music City Make-a-thon. Chris has been gracious enough to be a presenting partner, along with NVIDIA. We're in NVIDIA's Inception Startup Accelerator. And essentially what this is all about, grab the code, don't let me get in the way. Tonight only, where it's $5 off any tier you register through. You essentially have 6 days to go from song seed to studio to streaming through once to stage if you make it through the first virtual round of voting. That's on Friday, the 27th, and then if you make it through, you perform on the 28th. And we're working out the details for that to be right here at home, bring it full circle. And yeah, grab the code. We have the web app up, you can learn more. Anyone's invited, it's not just artists, not just songwriters, anyone who's a music-loving creative or maker. Get involved, build teams of up to 10, and learn more. Don't want to take up too much more time, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Got a panel of judges, fan voting, yada yada.
Yeah, he's been cooking this up for a long time, so it's very, very unique idea and event, and seems like it's going to be really, really cool. So keep your eyes out for that. And just want to give a shout out, to Joel and First Rule for helping us with this thing ever since we first conceived the AI meetup. I want to give a shout out to Cali Sober because they're providing all the wonderful beverages. And also, just again, want to give a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor at Stream. And this is the Stream Spotlight Artist feature here right now. Alice Vibe, come on up, girl. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. You. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I need to ask you a favor, guys, if you want to stand up. I'm just going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable tonight. Well, maybe comfortable, like, you don't know, Just want to invite you to, dance for the next, 20 minutes or so with me, and just feel your body. Just don't look around too much. Just stay in tune with yourself, So yeah, tonight we have on the stage Cedric and Hey Serena, my beautiful friends, amazing artists too. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I want you to skin on the ground like a wing. Let's control. Can you take me away from the place of space? In the Milky Way. I want it all. On the backs of curtains and I should go. I'm ready to go. I get deepest in my hand, but you gotta know. When I'm settled for love, I want it all. Oh, you said you're ready to change. What you told me, baby, things don't have to be the same. 'Cause I know how I feel, I'm not scared to be real. If you're in for this ride, to live life from the side, let's shoot for the stars. I want it all. On my back's up, and sending up to go. I'm ready to go. I can see this in my hand, but you gotta know that I won't settle for less. I want it all. We do everything we wanted. choose whatever we want. I want it all. In words of karma, humankind is at the service of love, conquering the land of the truth, spinning in the vortex of creation. I want it all, but my best perfect instinct to go. I'm ready to go. I get tickets in my hand, but you gotta know that I won't settle for less. I want it all. I want it all. I want it all.
Stream. Thank you, home. Thank you, Logan. This place is amazing. It's my second home. I love it. I have so much fun all the time. And yeah, so this next one is called Italian Girl. I'm sure some of you know it. So I want to see you dancing. And I haven't seen you dancing so much. So like, let's get loose, okay? Nobody's watching. Like, yeah, I'm ready. Italian girl. I heard that a lot of people want to be Italian. new me. You know how I light up the whole scene. You're so pretty, sì sì lo so. I'm kidding baby, but you already know. From Hollywood to Dubai, I'm out here living my life. They always ask me where you from. I'm an Italian girl, imported for the taste. You can get this in the States. I got Milan in my veins. I'm an Italian girl. She's prodigious and contagious, and they wonder if she's famous like ooh. Got good energy, no enemies. She's probably an Italian girl. She's probably an Italian girl. Got good energy, no enemies. She's probably an Italian girl. Oh, disco motion. Not even try. I just show up and the party gets loud. I don't say hi, I say ciao ciao. They wanna hear what I'm talking about. From Hollywood to Dubai, I'm out here living my life. They always ask me where you from. I'm an Italian girl, imported for the taste. You can get this in the States. I got me loud in my face. She's prodigious and contagious, and they wonder if she's famous like ooh. Got good energy, no enemies. She's probably an Italian girl. She's probably an Italian girl. She's an Italian girl. Yeah, there's no stopping it now. This is me, new rhythm, new sound. Yeah, there's no stopping it now. They always ask me where you from. I'm an Italian girl. She's probably an Italian girl. Got good energy, no enemies. She's probably an Italian girl. Give it up for Sandra! Woo! She's an Italian girl. Pazienti, scuoto dritto, eleganza, ma con ritmo. Non gioco, comando, non seguo, incanto, non seguo, incanto, non seguo, incanto, non seguo, incanto. She's an Italian girl. Woo! Thank you so much.
I want to be Italian.
We're at the end, guys. Thank you so much. So this one is special. It came out a week ago. It's called My Straight Jacket. And tonight we have a little surprise because my friend, Hey Serena, she did like a little remix. So get ready to dance. I'm telling you, get ready to dance. Lock her up and throw away the key. Domesticated, that just isn't me. No apologizing, I'll be who I be. God, I'm talking at the party. Have you seen her? She's a freak. Huh. When I'm inspired, I'm conspiring to take over the world. I'm a straight jacket kind of girl. I won't lie and I'm breaking out. Today I'm feeling savage. Gotta wear my straight jacket. Damn! Straight jacket. Gotta wear my straight jacket. Today I'm feeling savage. Gotta wear my straight jacket. Red leather diamonds on my leash. Got all the outside on the knees. Live outside the lines that don't do normal, but I'll make you lose your mind. Now open wide to take over the world. I'm a straight jacket kind of girl. I won't lie and I don't break it out. Today I'm feeling savage, girl.
jacket. Inspiring to take over the world. I won't lie and I won't hide. I'm breaking out. Gotta wear my strange jacket. Thank you guys. Thank you for showing up tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Home. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Scream. Thank you. I love you. Give it up for my friends. Hey, Serena, Cedric. Thank you, guys. Woo! Thank you.
All right, give it up one more time for Alice Vibe. All right, everybody. Thanks again for coming out. Third Thursday of every month. So come back and hang with us next month. We'll have another round of amazing guest speakers. We'll have a new stream spotlight artist and a lot of really interesting conversations. So stay up on all this AI stuff because it's happening fast. All right, have a good night, everybody.